Ba-da-ba-ba-bum.
Yep, that's a song.
Yeah, dude. Amber is the color of your energy.
Whoa.
Oh, man, dude.
Oh, no.
I'm feeling silly today, man.
You say that every time.
I wonder if Nate's offended by having that song associated with this.
I also hate 311.
Well, you know what?
What?
I have a question before we start. Already, I got questions.
What's up?
You think?
I want to know what.
You think in Star Trek in this universe, this cinematic universe, do you guys think that at one point, like the profession of hookers went away because of the holodecks?
Oh no, they're sex planets.
Oh, they're sex planets. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They just had to, get bigger and more bombastic with their sexcapades.
Okay.
Because I think, like, even with like holodecks, first of all, the holodeck on the Enterprise is surprisingly sophisticated. So it's actually like brand new technology.
It's supposed to be really. Yeah, like the holodeck on the Enterprise is like that fancy VR 13 thing in Singapore.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, I think even with the holodeck, I think people are kind of like, well, sometimes a real thing is likely be nicer, as we find out in this holodeck episode. The holodeck doesn't get everything right sometimes.
Do you think Tim Cook, or as the former president called him, Tim Apple, you think Tim Apple already created a holodeck at Apple's headquarters, but he's like, all the employees are using it is to fuck in there, so like, no, all you want to do is kill people and fuck. Can't let it on to the world, or like people won't be doing shit. They'll just be in this holodeck fucking and killing people.
Well, they probably have a holodeck. They just can't find a way to overcharge for it.
Yeah. They're like, we're waiting.
Damn that, Steve Jobs. You dead fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, Steve Apple. Steve Rotten Apple.
They all get ordained the surname Apple.
Yeah. As soon as you join the company, your last name's Apple now.
The Pope, John Paul. Like they all adopt their own names. They own their own Apple names.
Yeah, when Johnny Appleseed joined, he turned into Johnny Apple.
Steve Apple, Johnny Appleseed.
Star Trek. Welcome to Newbie Star Trek. And if you guys have not listened to the podcast before, I'm Marvin. I'm here with Ricardo and Dan. Hello, everyone.
Hello, I'm Ricardo. This is how my voice sounds. It sounds weird. Dan sounds like
the sound of Dan.
Yeah. It's hard to tell when it's Dan and when it's common.
Guys, it couldn't be simpler.
That's one part we'll never explain. It just happened. Then Ricardo hasn't watched Star Trek before, so he's watching it with us.
Yeah,
and we started with TNG instead of TOS because I like TNG.
Yeah,
that's pretty much why.
Plus, this one's a sexy one, dude.
But yeah.
In fact, I'm not even sure you really need to justify that as often as you do.
Well, people ask. People are like, "What? Why did you skip TOS?" I'm like, "Because I like TNG."
You can just say because TOS sucks.
Oh man,
I have no actual opinion. I haven't seen even one whole episode of TOS.
Me neither. I've only seen bits and pieces here and there. But what bits and pieces I do see look like a lot of corny fun that I think one day I'd like to see, but not right now. Because right now we're watching TNG, and this week we watched Manhunt. Do you get it now, Ricardo?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. This one's the only one that really was like I said. I always said that you can always swap these names into like adult movies, And this one's kind of perfect.
I mean, this is Well, last week was Up the Long Ladder, right?
Yeah, dude. Long as shit, if you know what I mean.
That's true. You can pornify that name.
Yeah. Look, out of the whole season,
with like a noose-based phrase are kind of odd.
Yeah,
that's a weird fetish.
75% of the titles.
David Carradine's into it.
Yeah, exactly. That's a Carradini style of porn right there.
Yeah, it's all carrot porn.
Oh boy, this episode, Manhunt, starring Lwaxana Troi, first aired on June 19 of 1989. Dan, are you going to take us around the sun?
I guess. Zoom! All right, so just a bit of background. The last episode, Up the Long Ladder, as we just mentioned, aired on May 22nd. So there's actually been almost a whole month of hiatus in between.
Oh, what are they doing, dude?
Well, here's what happened in the meantime, and it's basically just a bunch of movies.
I think what happened in the meantime is actually the fact that they took a break to let Star Trek V come out.
That indeed happened in the middle.
Yeah, I think that could be why that happened. Yeah.
No, yeah, that does make a lot of sense. So anyway, first off, May 24th, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade released. And it set some records for the highest grossing weekend debut of all time.
That makes sense.
So far.
It's probably one of the most anticipated sequels of all time.
Yeah, it was big money.
I really like that movie. More than
that movie's great. Yeah,
for me,
it easily surpasses Temple of Doom.
So for me, it's Crusade. Temple, and Raiders is last, dude.
Really
interesting. You like Temple above Raiders?
Yeah, dude. I like all those bugs, dude.
Do you like the racist imagery?
I do.
I just can't stand that lady.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that lady sucks.
Like, I get the point of the lady. She's not supposed to be like a straightforward love interest. She's more of like not always on board, which is fine.
Oh, you talking about Kate Capshaw?
Is that her name? The lady in the... Yeah. So I do like that. Like, she's not necessarily on board with the adventure.
Yeah.
But it is weird that she literally kind of shows up and then she's tagging along. Same with Short Round.
Yeah.
He's just there. Like,
he's already there.
Yeah, there's no explanation for like,
no,
why are we tagging along with these people? We don't introduce them, really? We're not even really introduced.
Yeah. Why did we kidnap a kid?
I'm fine with characters who are like that. It's just that the movie was just kind of annoying to me because of the lady.
It's very violent. It's the most violent of the Indiana Jones movies.
Yeah, dude.
By a wide margin.
I wish in the Shia LaBeouf one they had just mentioned, oh yeah, I had a helper. He died.
Mortal Kombat literally took like direct inspiration from that movie.
Yeah, this tiny Asian child with me.
Yeah,
never grew up to be a man.
Yeah, well, I let him drive, and he just crashed and he died.
Well, he escaped and became a Goonie.
Yeah, that's true. And then he died.
Oh boy. Boy. All sorts of problematic issues in that movie.
He got syphilis from fucking...
All right, guys, I got some more movies to get through.
Sorry, dude. I was going in a dark path, dude. I apologize.
The music's about to end already. Next up, June 2nd, Dead Poet Society with Robin Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Portraying Oh Captain, My Captain.
Yeah, dude. Good morning, Vietnam, dude.
Yep. That's the one.
Yep. The one where a genie takes over a prep school, and turns it into a radio station that broadcasts to Vietnam.
Yeah,
and he assures everyone listening that it's not your fault.
Yeah, yeah. And then, but there's a part where he has to cross-dress to try to get his children back.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's a wacky movie.
Turns out he was an alien the whole time.
So. And also Bicentennial Man.
Yeah, he's old. He was an alien robot.
Yeah, and he was rapidly aging the whole time.
Yeah.
Also Patch Adams.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude.
What's happening?
He had a rubber nose on the whole time.
Were we?
Moving on.
The Dead Poets Society came out.
Yeah.
Moving on. Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, released on June 9th. And it's about Kirk's crew confronting a rogue Vulcan who's looking for God at the center of the galaxy.
Oh, right.
It's also the only Trek movie directed by Shatner.
Oh, yeah. I've only seen that movie once. I remember very little about it.
I've never seen it, so I can't speak about it. But it does apparently take place very shortly after the events of the voyage home.
Yeah.
Or was it the journey home? I forget.
I think it's the
something home.
the
traveling
the
home.
whales.
Yeah, whale movie. The whale movie. All right. And last up, on the 16th, Ghostbusters 2 released, in which our heroes are throwing a party for a bunch of children, but all the while, slime is under the building. So what do? They pack up their group, get a grip, come quick, grab their proton packs on their backs, and they split. Then they find out about Vigo, the master of evil, and he tries to battle my boys, but he quickly finds out that that's not legal. Anyway, yeah, it was super popular. In its 3-day weekend gross surpassed the previous record holder, which was
Indiana Jones.
There you go.
Bingo.
I guess you could say that the Ghostbusters were too hot to handle, too cold to hold.
Wait.
Control.
I can't
Heart, soul, yip yip dance. Sorry, I just really like the Bobby Brown song that came with the movie.
I'm surprised Ghostbusters 2 beat Indiana Jones. That's kind of surprising.
People love Ghostbusters, dude.
Yeah, man. Ghostbusters is a fucking phenomenon.
Yeah, dude.
How do you guys feel about Ghostbusters?
Didn't you see those costumes that the Stranger Things kids wore?
Yeah, dude. They weren't wearing
so popular
phantoms.
back then.
Yeah.
I wanted to get that poster of Vigo to put over my kid's crib. But when
you'll put it on a ceiling.
That too,
so he has to see it every time he goes to bed.
Yeah. But my wife didn't want to go for that, so.
Oh man,
what a shame! What a shame.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was the end of my trip around the sun. It was movies only.
Movies only. Dude. No Mike Tyson update,
yeah, dude. Locos only.
Well, I did actually find something. It's only that the state of New Jersey finalized the divorce that was already,
that's he's divorcing.
Yeah, it's fine.
Crazy Mike.
I nearly told you guys that, but I guess I have now because you prompted it from me.
Yeah.
But don't worry, I got my finger on the pulse of Mike Tyson news.
Yeah.
Never not feeling.
Well, you know who has their finger on the pulse of internet security?
Who does?
The
Ghostbusters?
ExpressVPN, who was our sponsor as usual.
Guys.
Who?
You guys know the spiel by now, so I'll just go through it really quick. ExpressVPN. It is a high-quality VPN, and a VPN is nice because you don't want to, as Ricardo puts it, raw dog the internet.
Yeah,
and
guys.
It's good to use a VPN with the reputation and quality like ExpressVPN because they don't keep any logs at all, and in fact, the Turkish government once raided their servers and they found nothing.
They didn't find any turkeys.
Nothing at all.
Yeah.
Maybe some sandwiches, but those sandwiches contained no identifiable logs.
Yeah.
So, in any case, they also run on 3,000 plus servers.
Yeah. They can't build any Lincoln logs because they don't have any logs. Dan, love that joke. Look at him. He's fucking losing his shit.
3,000 plus servers, 160 countries, spanning 94 countries, growing every day. And it works on pretty much every device you can think of. If you have a device, there's an app for it. Also, guys, as we espouse a lot,
get the goddamn VPN, dude. I don't know how many times I gotta tell you, dude. Get the fucking VPN, dude. You don't want to be out there missing out on fucking content from fucking Plus, dude.
Yeah.
Throw the VPN. If you're a new listener, hey, secret, put on the VPN. Tell it that you're in Europe. Then kick off your goddamn Disney Plus. You get all the Fox movies for free.
Heck yeah, dude.
Hell yeah, dude.
There's lots of other little tricks
tell you
like
that your
too.
accent is sexy.
Yeah.
There's lots of little things you can do with VPNs like that. And ExpressVPN is a great choice. So if you want to get ExpressVPN for a great deal, you can go to expressvpn.com/newbie Star Trek. And if you sign up for 12 months, you'll get an extra 3 months for free. That is a total savings of 49%, just $6.67 a month, which is a pretty good deal.
Yeah, just 20% less than the perfect percentage.
It's a pretty good deal for a VPN of that quality. So that's expressvpn.com/newbie Star Trek.
I also want to say allegedly, if you go to Disney Plus, that's what happens. Allegedly. I heard it from a friend. His name is Tim. If you guys want to sue him, he's okay with that.
Yeah. He's got a big fruit-based
His last name is Apple.
him.
You can look him up.
Yeah. His name is Tim Apple.
The idea of the CEO of Apple, like
always being Apple, that's awesome. I love that.
But also like being cheap You know, like he's like,
yeah. He's, but also he would want the competitors to be, to get taken advantage of,
Maybe he does it to check out Apple TV across his different, because Apple TV is, although I think Apple TV is kind of like Netflix, just everything.
It's everything.
Right?
Yeah,
whatever.
They don't have different content in different continents.
Yeah.
They don't have different hoes in different area codes. Tim Apple has one hoe. His name is what is that show? Is that show that won the Emmy?
Tim Queen's Gambit.
The Queen's Gambit. Nope, that's Netflix.
Is it the one with that
Tim Lasso? Tim Lasso.
Oh yeah, the Lasso show.
The Lasso Brothers.
That's an Apple show. Oh,
yeah,
I didn't know
dude.
That. Oh, I didn't know that.
Hell yeah, dude. Apple's got an Emmy now, dude.
You know who's Data's only hoe?
Who?
Ricardo. Could you please tell us what happened in this episode?
I can. And I will.
That's his first true love.
Yeah. He'll never forget his first true love.
He'll never recover from it.
No. Hell no.
It's a good thing he doesn't have emotions. Otherwise, he would have probably just been like devastated for weeks.
How do you know he's not?
Yeah. So the episode starts off, and as always, they're Ubering somebody to the goddamn Pacific Coast Highway or something. And so they're like, hey, we got to escort these people. They're fucking squid people. And you know what? This is what I fucking love and hate about this goddamn show, dude. They're called the Archimedeans or Archimedes?
Like Archimedeans?
Yeah. They're fish people.
Yes.
And
they're Admiral Ackbars. They look a lot like Admiral Ackbar.
They're pretty Ackbar, yeah.
Yeah, they're just gray. Yeah, and or blue, gray. Yeah.
This is what I like about this show, is that this motherfucker has tried to kill them so many times. Again, we're talking about Wesley, dude. The goddamn fucking piece of shit known as Wesley. He's tried to kill them so many times, and he just made a fool of himself so many times. And still, again, showing how fucking white privilege will get you to the front of the line. There's so many officers that are higher rank than him, dude. That are cadets, that are that are in the what is it called, the Starfleet Academy.
Yeah.
And he picks this guy because he fucked his fucking mom, dude. Because he fucked his mom and he killed his dad, dude. So anyway, they're wearing like Scottish kind of kilts. It feels like it. They're wearing like
their dress uniforms again.
By that. Are you talking about the officers or the Antedians?
Officers.
Okay, because I was about to say the Antedians don't look like kilts to me.
No. The captain's wearing his like it's kind of like what men wear in like the Middle East. They wear like the long shirts.
Oh yeah,
I guess a little bit. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, the Antedians are wearing shower curtains.
Yeah,
basically,
yeah. And they're wearing shower curtains, and they have the squid, a cup of squid next to them. Well, it's a barrel of squids.
It looks like a beer cooler.
Yeah. And now, I mean, spoiler alert, because if you're listening to this episode, you've probably seen this show. You're watching it, you're listening to it because you think we're stupid and you want to listen to what we have to say. So that eventually these guys are fucking terrorists, dude. These fucking assholes are terrorists. But now it makes sense because they're kind of wearing tinfoil for clothes. So like any X-rays would be hard. It would maybe deflect the X-rays so they couldn't see that the bombs were hidden in their fucking anal cavities,
And like Wesley,
the shower curtains were like all like the curtains themselves were lined with some sort of crazy explosive, were they not?
Yeah. And then Wesley, when everyone asks him, so what did you think about the Antedians? He goes, they're kind of weird. They're kind of weird looking. And everyone goes, Wesley, you shouldn't trust people by the way they look. Yeah. And then it turns out they're terrorists. So the moral of the story is you should trust people by the way they look.
Yeah. Always judge people by the way they look. Especially if they're wearing tinfoil. So anyway, they're like, oh, what? They're dead? These pieces of shit are dead? They want us to Uber dead people or dead aliens? And they're like, no, Wesley, you silly bitch. These people, that's how they travel. They don't like to waste energy, dude. They like to save their energy for fucking and eating. So they arrive catatonic. And then they'll unfreeze later, and then Wesley's like, "What is this barrel of fucking things?" And he opens it up. By the way, what if that was the bomb? And he opens it and it fucking blows in his face. Well, I mean, that would have been a great episode, but and then like the squid are moving, their food, and I'm like, what if it was a virus?
Yeah, what if it's poison to humans?
Also, what if human germs are bad for these creatures? And Wesley just opens it. Imagine like someone like you arrive. You're like, hey, I'm gonna go fly to this location. but you know, I gotta go like under anesthesia. So they put you on a plane, and then the flight attendant's like, "Oh, what is this?" And it's like, "Oh, the guy, he's got a special diet. He's a vegetarian, so it's a bunch of veggies in there." And she just opened the tray and just started poking around, like, "Oh, what are these broccoli?" It's like, "No, don't touch my fucking food, dude. Leave it covered, you piece of shit, dude." So that bugged me a lot, but whatever. And then so this episode is packed with shit, dude. There's like 3, 4, 5 storylines going on at the same time.
It's like a lot of stuff happening at once, but it's also very much a let's kind of dick around a lot episode. A lot of the episode is people running away from people.
Yeah. It's a lot of avoiding.
But even so, I think it works. I'll tell you why.
This feels like a sitcom episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
It feels like it works to me because individually they're shitty stories. So like the fish story being terrorist and kind of a shit story. Lwaxana, not a big fan of her, except that she's so like, I do like that she's so vulgar sometimes. But if you had a whole episode about her, it wouldn't be that interesting to me.
Yeah. And I think they knew that. I think they knew to balance it out.
Another fucking Dixon, what's his name? Dixon Hill?
Dixon Hill, exactly.
I would have fucking Dixon Hilled my eyes out, dude.
This is kind of like a hodgepodge of like gimmicky season 1 concepts, like put together
these are
with a lot of callbacks.
Season 1 concepts. These are all season 1 concepts.
And they call back a lot of jokes too.
Yeah. And all in moderation, it was fun. It was fun.
It was like a screwball comedy where you know, like what's
the Cannonball
like a Howard Hawks screwball comedy. Has a ton of stuff packed into one movie. Yeah. And like he has a lot of random things going. It feels very similar.
Yeah.
Where
it's just faster.
A lot of racism buried in that. So anyway, they get a communication because they're taking a lot of people to the Pacific Coast Highway. Yeah. Because there's a conference. Yeah. There's a Smash Mouth concert. Yeah.
It's because they all heard somebody say
you work harder, but then you play, and at the end they'll play. Yeah.
So they never. You interpret it as then THEN.
Oh, is that not what it is?
Work harder than you play.
Oh,
it's about then. Well, that's because that's the advice he heard, but he decided not to listen to that advice.
You play hard.
You never had a critical analysis of Smash Mouth?
Well, I think it works both ways. Work harder, then you play, or work harder than you play.
Dan, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
It's true. Just
like this fucking song, dude. It's in my eyes. In her eyes. Anyway, so they get a incoming message that someone's about to beam up, and it's fucking, who is it? It's
Lwaxana.
So when she comes on screen, there should be a bunch of studio audience. Woo!
Yeah,
because she like bumps in, like, you know, it's like he's Raymond Romano's parent.
Hey, Ma.
Oh, Ma, what are you doing here? Wait a minute, this is nearly Bobcat Goldthwait.
Yeah, it's like Bobcat mixed with like Stallone.
Bobcat Stallone.
Oh, I'm gonna box. I'm gonna box some Paul Creed.
Back in Vietnam.
Come on, Ma. Quit reading everyone's minds.
So she appears and she's already telling fucking and Picard's like, oh damn it, dude. She's gonna tell me I have 30 thoughts about her. God damn it.
Yeah. Like she keeps doing that. It's almost unfair because it's like that thing where it's like, don't think of a white polar bear.
Yeah.
Don't think of it. Yeah. Don't think of a white polar bear. And of course you're going to think of the white fucking polar bear.
Although I can imagine Picard being like, and I won't think of it. And he doesn't.
But that doesn't but she could say it all she wants and like you either believe her or you don't because she's supposedly the mind reader. It sucks.
I wish Picard is like Picard just responds, no, I'm not.
He really should.
Like every time.
I guess the fact that he never actively refutes her must mean that it's true, but it's kind of like I'm sick of this gag.
It's possible he's always thinking about that about everyone, and it's not anything special.
Yeah, and he's like, I wonder. He's thinking about it like a scientist, dude. Like, I wonder what it'd be like to fuck Riker.
Yeah,
maybe.
Oh, how
or
would it
Data.
be?
I wonder what Hole's Data has.
Yeah, what kind of ports does he have?
Or maybe maybe that's an undercurrent of some conscious thought that Lwaxana is always tapping into. It's like I can always just go there and just say that, you're thinking about naked me, because it's always fucking there in everybody.
Yeah. Maybe, you know how people say like, oh, when you're nervous, think about people naked. Maybe he's always thinking of people naked.
Maybe he's always
that's so cool.
Yeah,
that's why he's always calm and you know. He's like, Riker naked.
That's why he was afraid to get surgery, because then he was like, then they'll see me naked.
Yeah, and then they'll see everything.
Oh, no.
They'll see the old...
It's too late. They'll have seen everything.
They'll see Lieutenant Picard, if you know what I mean. So he's got to go put on his dress again, because she's a dignitary. What is she?
Like an ambassador.
She's an ambassador, dude.
Just randomly, they're just like, you're an ambassador now.
and then the first fucking funny bit rolls up is when she appears. She's like, "Where are my legs? Where are my legs?" And she's like, "They're under you, mother." That's a great bit, though. I did get a kick out of that. And so she turns around and she makes another joke, and he's like, "Oh man, Picard, your legs are fucking great, dude."
He's wearing tights just for the dress uniform, and they're shaped. They're quite shapely.
And then she asks, "Oh," then Lurch shows up from the fucking
yeah.
He's back.
And then because he is a fucking alcoholic, dude. This Lurch guy, he fucking pounds, dude.
Man, that's a total callback to his first appearance as well. He was pounding things left and right.
Yeah. Pounding a few cold ones.
Yeah. And then she asks Picard to carry the suitcase, but then Riker does it, and he's doing the bit where it's just really heavy and he can't lift, and it was really funny.
But they did that the last time too. It's everything again.
Yeah.
But it's Riker this time instead of Picard.
Picard
is actually responding. And Picard actually responds this time. He's like, "No, I don't think I'll do it this time."
and then Lwaxana tells him like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll see you later on for dinner and stuff." And then cut to a scene where like fucking Riker's a bitch, dude. Like he knows all this information that'll make the captain like look like a chump. And who does he tell? Fucking bitch ass Wesley, dude. Like, oh yeah, dude, this is what happened to the captain. And Wesley, of course, is like, oh, really? I guess, yeah. And they're having some fucking funny moment, and then Picard comes in and he doesn't like it, dude.
He's like, "Shut up. Everybody shut up. Stop talking shit about me."
Yeah, you fucking idiots, dude. And then basically he's got to go. So here we're gonna get this first storyline out of the way, because I don't want to go back to talk about it. So the squid people are catatonic for the whole thing basically until the end, and then they get frozen. So then he's got to get ready for his dinner with Lwaxana, and he thinks it's for everybody. Yeah. And then he leaves and he's like, "I'll see you guys later for dinner." And then Riker's like, "Who did what?" Like he does a bit like, who got invited? Did you guys get invited? It's like, no, none of us got invited. So it turns out nobody got invited, but the captain. And so anyway, he shows up to the party, and it turns out he's like, "Oh, am I early?" And Lurch is basically like, "Nah, dude, she tricked you, dude. you guys are gonna fuck."
He brings a drink, right? And Lurch drinks it all, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's like a weird blue drink, and I can't help but imagine that it's like Barbicide. Have you guys seen Barbicide? Or like
I've seen Barbicide, dude.
Yeah, it looks just like Barbicide.
Well, Barbicide also looks exactly like Powerade. So
I mean, that's what barbers actually use.
Yeah,
they just use power.
Yeah, it gives people's hair
it infuses the comb with much needed electrolytes.
Yeah.
So it can get back in the game.
And fucking Lurch fucking pounds the whole fucking jug of, I assume it's booze. And then Lwaxana comes out, and her bosom is very exposed in this episode. It's too exposed for prime time. And basically she's telling him like how that so what ends up happening is that she's basically experiencing, and later on Counselor Troi is talking to Pulaski, and they talk about this. So I'll bring it up now. Basically she's going through kind of like menopause, but in what is he, a Lexivarian? What are they?
They're a betazoid.
Yeah,
they're betazoids.
So the betazoids, how menopause works is that they basically get really fucking horned up for like a few years.
Yeah.
And
It's
they
like
take on a lover, and
the
her
one
husband
pawn
died.
far.
Yeah, it's
For
the
the
pawn
entire-
far of their lives. Yeah.
Yeah. And then at one point, Riker's like, "Oh yeah," because he's telling Riker, and he's like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "Counselor Troi told me that when we first started dating, that she would go through those years with her." And
That's
then
a
it's
pretty
really
good
funny,
scene. Yeah.
because basically Riker's like, "Yeah, I couldn't wait for that."
It's really funny. Like one, they very casually mentioned, "Yeah, we were a couple, or might still be a couple. I don't know.
Yeah.
We still fuck." And then Riker goes, "Oh yeah, Deanna explained it to me. You know, when this happens, she gets 4 times as horny." And she goes, "Well, sometimes more." And he goes, "More?"
And she's all like, "I didn't want to frighten you," and Riker just like he just puts on this sly smile that creeps across his face.
He's like, "Hell yeah!"
He's like, "Let's see if I can handle it."
Yeah, he does the old "all right."
Yeah, that's basically what that is.
Yeah,
that's exactly what that is.
Yeah, and so so the captain's having dinner with fucking Lwaxana, and basically she's all horned up, and she's like trying to like seduce him and like take him on as a husband, basically. And you later find out that turning down somebody like this, because she's got like a ambassador or some sort of status, so turning her down would be such an insult. So they got to figure out how to not insult her but turn her down. Yeah. So the way the captain gets out of it is that he calls a Data to come and give them basically give them interesting facts about the universe. He brings in human Wikipedia and has them recite random articles. Yeah. And she's bored, and Data is so into this. He's like, finally, I get to use this information. And they cut to a scene, and he's having dinner with them, and he is so fucking into it, dude. Yeah, so into it. I like this. And he tells it like he would tell a joke. You know what I mean? Like where you get to the end and the captain is so fucking happy, dude. He's like, go on further, and he's clapping. Did you know that a brown dwarf star only exists because of these 2 things? And the Picard's like, oh my God, Data. It's amazing. Yeah. Oh my God.
Now I have a little bit of an issue with this scene. And the scene, and my issue with that is Lwaxana, she yammers constantly about how she's constantly reading everyone's mind and what's on their mind and, you know, what they're thinking. Like, this is clearly a ploy on Picard's part that she should be, you know, completely aware of, like, his intent and everything. But she just plays along with it. Why?
I think there is a throwaway line randomly in the episode where she goes, you know, or not she goes, but Deanna goes, when this starts happening, like their minds don't read other minds correctly. All they think about is sex.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I think she doesn't even notice.
And there's a funny scene because
convenient, but okay.
Yeah. There's a funny scene because there's a scene with Troi and Pulaski talking about this thing that's happening to her mother. And at this point, the captain doesn't know that this is what she's going through. He just thinks like she's regular, horned up, like regular status. He doesn't know that she's going through this period in her life cycle. And Pulaski finds out, and basically Troy's like, maybe I should warn the captain. And then Pulaski's like, nah, maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you shouldn't. And he's like, it'll be good for his reflexes.
Yeah, and she's like, whoa. Oh.
Yeah. And then Pulaski's like, to avoid her, not to have sex with her.
Yeah. And so anyway, the captain's like, well, anyway, I got to go back to the bridge. These are great fucking stories. I love them. Let's do this again. And so he leaves, and they're going down the hallway, and he basically, Data's still going, by the way. Yeah. He's going down the hallway. He's still fucking rattling off fucking facts. And he basically like tells Data, like, you will never know how fucking thankful I am for you.
I do like that line a lot.
Yeah. Anyway, he basically fucking, then there's this little funny bit that I fucking love, is that Lurch is cleaning up after their dinner, and he's just pounding all the liquor that they didn't drink. Yeah. just taking shots. Yeah. And I love that. I love
and Lwaxana is now just scarfing down her food.
Yeah. So she basically is like, well, basically she's going to go track down the captain, and the captain is talking to Lwaxana Troi and Riker, and this is where, again, we talked about this already, where she explains the menopause thing and the sexuality, and Riker has that look, and he's like, Riker's like, oh, you never told me that. I didn't want to frighten you. And then Riker's like, all right. Anyway, and she said the they have to figure out how to find a dignified way to like turn her down and stuff because she's a diplomat, I guess. And then they figured out like, well, if the captain is unavailable, then she can't track him down. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So what can we do? And there's only one thing to do, which is go fucking in the holodeck, dude.
So,
And-
like 3 years ago, I watched this episode for the first time, and I dubbed this move into the holodeck the true Picard maneuver.
Oh.
In fact, I have a status that I once posted on Facebook. Ready? It says Captain's Log, Stardate 2018.4.15. The true Picard maneuver is ducking into the holodeck to avoid interacting with her ship counselor's horny mom.
Yeah.
It's also a thing he does it a lot. I think he uses holodeck more than anyone else in the show.
Yeah.
Does he?
Actually. I think so. Yeah, I think like
That's interesting.
Yeah, he just loves the holodeck and doing shit there as a detective and shit. He's just really into it. Not sure why. More than anyone.
He goes into the Dixon Hill simulation, and some weird things start happening, which is the
holodeck is clearly still like a very dangerous place.
Yeah.
That has not been resolved or repaired at all.
Yeah, they never got around to fixing that part.
It's like it's still got that kill matrix.
Yeah.
Still wants
Basically,
to kill you every 5 seconds.
Every 5 seconds, it tries to kill him. Like one case comes in, tries to shoot him. Oh, and then he adjusts the simulation, and it still does it again. It does it like 4 or 5 times. It keeps fucking doing it.
It just becomes a bit where it has to keep on like finish program.
If anything, it gets worse because before he just like points a gun, then it's like about to punch him in the face, and then it's a machine gun.
comes in with a Chicago typewriter.
Yeah. Also, I like that the guy's name is Slade Bender. It's
It's a good name.
It's
a
a
good, strong
fantastic
name.
pulp detective novel name, Slade Bender.
I like how the paintings on the walls of his office are just of buildings.
It's just whatever they had lying around. They just threw it up there.
So basically, again, like you said, there's 3 times that it tries to kill him, 3 different ways, and it just can't get it right. But he still stays there because he's hiding from Lwaxana.
Right.
And then back on the they're still in the Enterprise. Back outside the simulation, Lwaxana's looking for the captain, and they tell her that he's unavailable.
Yeah.
And basically, she's like, "Well, if the captain's not available, I'm horned up as hell. I'll just find another suitor."
Yeah.
So she goes to find another suitor, and she's looking for everybody. So basically she's going like, well, you're too big, you're too small. Like she's doing the whole 3 bears thing, you know?
Yeah. She's Goldilocksing around.
Yeah. And then there's a scene with Wesley and Worf and these aliens that are just like frozen. And Worf finds them very majestic, dude.
I know.
He's like, oh, they're very...
He already
adorable.
called them a handsome race, in the first scene or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's clearly super hot for these strangely attractive fishmen.
He'd fuck them if they let him.
Well, but only if they let him, because that's the honorable way to do it.
That's honor.
Yeah.
So basically Wesley's like, I think they're ugly as shit, dude. And then Worf's like, wait a minute, did you think I was ugly when you first met me? And he's basically, well,
God damn it. God damn it, Wesley.
Hey, you know what? At least he's being honest there.
Yeah, he tells him basically, he says yes. He's like, yeah, but then when I got to know you, I realized it's basically don't judge a book by its cover again, which is the theme of this.
But then he tells him, now I think you're handsome for a Klingon.
That eventually he found his ridges hot.
Yeah.
He says, you're handsome for a Klingon. And he's like, oh, shit.
Lwaxana comes in, and
that's a shitty thing to conclude on, honestly.
I know. And basically, she goes, oh, she's trying to pick up on Wesley, dude.
Yeah, kind of. That's kind of, it feels a bit creepy to me.
Yeah. And basically, she's like, oh, you're too young. But very close. She was very close to taking him, dude. And which I would have been okay with, because he would have just gone off and not been on the fucking Enterprise anymore. So whatever gets him off the ship, I condone. And then basically he's like, well, this one's too young. And then she looks at Worf and is like, this one's too non-human, because she now craves a human, because her previous husband was a human, because Counselor Troy's half human, half Betazoid, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, back to old Dixon Hill, and he's like, well, I'm going to go to the bar. So he tells the secretary, hey, I'm going to go to the bar. Do you want to go with me? And she's like, oh, sure, Dixie. Yeah, see? So she says yes. And then she gives him a gun. She's like, oh, you better carry this because, that one dude's after you. And he's like, what one dude? He's like, that dude. Remember the case you solved and then blah, blah. And then it's like, oh, boy, this simulation's horrible. Just stick to fucking, dude. Fucking or killing.
Yeah, the whole time.
Sure there's
Sarah,
tons of programs for that.
Yeah, well, Sarah was just like, remember, Sarah was like, why don't you just go to the horse one where you liked riding a horse?
Yeah.
Why are you wasting all your time here trying to get it to work?
You think the horse tried to fuck him? Simulation?
He's like, that's too much holodeck.
Too much. Yeah.
Not everything needs to lead to fucking and shooting.
Have you ever like booted up a game where it's like, I just want to fuck around and not actually play the game?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah,
Red Dead. Yeah, GTA. A lot of
Ricardo showed me the fruits of his labors from that game.
I used to even do that with like Ocarina of Time. It's like, I don't want to save the world. I want to slice up this sign in a bunch of different directions.
Dude. Dude, I tell you what, the Red Dead Redemption 2 was the closest we got to like Westworld. In like a game, like you could literally do anything and go anywhere. Like I would ride for fucking my only complaint about that fucking game is that it's like real time. So like if you don't use the fast travel with the train or like a stagecoach, you could literally ride from one side of the map to the other, and it'll take you fucking 30 minutes, dude. Ride to the other side.
Which is the intentional experience. If you go hunting in that game, like it can take you hours to finish a hunt. Because it's kind of supposed to kind of be representative.
Simulate real life. Yeah.
To as much of a video game can.
But anyway,
the horse testicles are expertly rendered.
Yeah. And it turns out there's literally a million ways to kill a man in that game.
Ricardo's explored them all.
Yeah. So they go to this bar, and the guy there knows him, and it turns out that the bartender helped with that case. So this gangster that's after Dixon is also after the bartender.
This bar is also just like I think it's a redressing of that jazz bar that Riker went to.
Very likely.
It looks like it.
Yeah. Seems that way.
And so Lwaxana bursts into the bridge without fucking notice, dude. Like, I don't like that. That like literally anybody could just roll up and fucking.
It happens way too often.
Yeah. There's no security, dude. What if a civilian wanted to kill the fucking Picard dude and just rolled up and shanked him, dude? They could do it, dude. There's no security. Anyway, so she comes in and she's like, "Well, if Picard isn't here, then I'll take on another lover. It'll be Riker." And she even makes an announcement. She's like, "All right, guys, friends, family, countrymen, lend me your ear. At the Pacific Coast Highway, I will be getting married to Riker." And everyone's like, what the fuck? And then Riker doesn't even fight it. Doesn't even say, just thinking out loud really fast here. If it was me, I'd be like, oh, no, actually, I'm dating your daughter, so I can't. Fuck, make it up. Oh, I'm engaged to your daughter now.
Well, yeah, I guess she could have maybe just been like, no, you're not.
Yeah. Or Deanna Troi could have like jumped in and been like, oh no, he's my suitor. Sorry, you can't have him. Like,
she did explicitly tell her, not this one, mother, and then she does it anyway.
I guess she's a fucking idiot, dude.
She's just a cradle robber. She just wants it anyway.
And they even like flash over to Deanna Troi, and she's definitely like, oh no, no,
and again,
she's got the look,
just like the last episode.
Yeah,
nobody wants Geordi.
Anyway, so she's made up her mind. She's going to take Riker as a lover. And then Riker's like, well, I have to go tell the captain because only the captain could solve my goddamn problems. And so he's going to go into the simulation and Data is going to go with him. And then he's like, all right, yeah, let's go. And Data's like, well, can we postpone this fucking thing for like 12 minutes? And you're like, what the fuck is he going to do? And it turns out he was going to go get in costume.
Yeah.
I love that.
I do enjoy that Data loves dressing up for the part, because he loves like being like Sherlock Holmes and stuff like that. It's like one of his favorite things.
So they show up to the bar, and the bartender and everybody thinks it's the gangster, but it's not. So they show up and they're talking about
It's the South American guy again.
Yeah. They're talking about basically Lwaxana in code, and Data's the South American guy again. And then somehow Lwaxana gets into the fucking simulation, dude. And she goes into the bar and she's looking for, and Lwaxana doesn't know that this is a simulation. She thinks this is just a different part of the ship that she's never visited, that's stuck in old times for some reason.
It's
the cosplay side of the ship.
It's the preservate, like there was like historical preservation parts of cities. This is a historically preserved part of the Enterprise.
It's historical reenactment part of the ship.
It's like that movie The Village. It's like but it's in the ship.
We're gonna mention The Village every episode.
Yeah, at least we're gonna try, dude. And Lwaxana starts talking to the bartender, and she's like, "Ooh, I like that I can't read you." And she kind of falls for the bartender, and she basically, I like that bit a lot.
Yeah, it's
she
fun.
basically goes and talks to him and takes him aside, and like basically she takes him on as her lover, basically, and she doesn't know why she can't read his feelings, but that's what intrigues her about him. And then a situation happens that the squid people wake up and they're all fucking going crazy. Bunch of Ray Romanos. Ma, where's my food? And they give them the squid and they start fucking eating the shit out of the squid.
I should just cut that in as like their dialogue.
Ma. and then Ray's brother. No, Raymond.
You mean Brad Garrett?
Yeah. So anyway, they leave and they get to the Pacific Coast Highway, the Milky Way.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Hey, we're here. You guys got to get out." And Lwaxana's like, "All right, well, I'll be back for this bartender because I'm in love with this guy and he's fucking probably got a big dick because he's so tall." So anyway, she's like, "All right, I'm gonna go," and then they're about to beam them up, and they go to the transporter room, and then she's about to say goodbye to everybody, and then Lwaxana just casually says, like, "Oh, by the way, these guys are terrorists. They have a bomb."
Yeah. And then it is like, a fun ending. I like that. Where she's like,
it's a very matter of fact, and I love it because it wasn't like, "Oh, guys, these guys are." It was like, these guys are terrorists, and they're gonna like blow this. They're planning to blow the conference up.
Yeah,
and they're like, "What the fuck?" And it's funny because like they are very calm as well. Like they weren't like, nobody was like, "Phasers, fucking, let's just shoot these fuckers." That's what I would have done. Is like, guys, let's just shoot these guys. Who knows if they'll fucking set off the bomb here in this fucking ship?
Yeah, they actually took a big risk because they could have been like, "Oh shit, the jig is up," and they blew it up. Like, we'll blow up the Enterprise at least.
Yeah, boom. We'll take one dignitary or whatever she is.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't actually.
I know.
I was expecting them to make like some sort of an attempt at it and be stopped, but no, it's just like, "Oh, they got us.
Oh, they got us."
Yeah.
Like Worf doesn't even have to stop him. Worf just points at them and some ensigns
like,
take care of him.
We're very disappointed in you.
Oh, what a shame.
Anyway, they basically take them into custody and Lwaxana goes to the conference. And that's it. It was a very slapsticky, I would say it wasn't a well put together episode, but it was fun at least.
Yeah, it's like an average screwball type of plot. It's interesting because I think the original version of the script probably would have been a lot more annoying because apparently it was way more Dixon Hill centric.
Really?
Yeah, and apparently what happened is that Majel Barrett, who plays Lwaxana, as we all know, she's married to Gene Roddenberry, and then they started like kind of changing the script to be more about what she would want and what she wanted. And I think that probably made it a more fun episode because it wasn't so fucking Dixon Hill centric. Because I'm kind of not as jazzed about seeing Dixon Hill
and all that jazz.
You know, like if you're not gonna do anything other than go look at this old timey stuff, you know, like it's not really worth bringing Dixon Hill back. You know, like when they did Sherlock in the holodeck, there was a whole point to it. You know, you had kind of like an interesting story with what's his face, Moriarty becoming self-aware and all that shit. Like it became an interesting Sherlock episode. But as the track was going on for Dixon Hill, I think it was supposed to be kind of just like look at another old timey thing. It's like that would just be annoying.
I would have much preferred a re-entry into the Dixon Hill like universe as like what about that partner of his that had that like existential like conversation with him at the end of the last
And he
bit?
remembers
Yeah,
or
it's
something?
it's like, Dix, you're back. Or like, but wait, you're not really Dix. You're that other guy, aren't
like
you?
there's all this remembering. That would have been interesting. Yeah.
And
but,
that would have been fun to see a continuation of that, but that has like nothing to do with this episode's like actual point.
Yeah, and if they do too many episodes like that, you eventually have to start wondering they should really stop the holodeck. Because
it seems to be producing like live consciousnesses left and right.
Yeah, like nonstop. We should maybe slow down.
well, didn't we see somebody leave the holodeck?
Yeah, and then that was the first Dixon Hill episode, and they disappeared.
They attempted to leave, but then they dissolved as soon as they left.
Yeah, because they can't be sustained outside the holodeck for some reason. But there's no real explanation. But that's what it is. So,
I think the bartender could have left.
I mean, maybe they could have just held her there for the rest of the trip. But then, you wouldn't find the terrorists casually, offhandedly.
Yeah.
And just casually take them away.
This wasn't the best episode, but it was fun. So it's hard to rate this one because the Dixon Hills parts I wasn't a big fan of, but like
it's funny.
Again, none of these parts would have worked. Like you said, if it was all Dixon Hill, would have worked. If it was all Lwaxana, wouldn't have worked.
It's funny as 2 scenes and then a last scene with Lwaxana where they bring her. The idea of Lwaxana entering holodeck and not realizing she's on a holodeck is funny.
Yeah.
They could have actually done more with that. Actually, that could have been really funny.
Yes.
Maybe that actually could have been a more interesting thing where they actually like bring her into the holodeck and kind of just leave her there. And
like, I would like more detail on just how badly this like horny time like messes with her head, because again, that was another time at which if she was reading anyone's mind at all, she would be like, oh, this isn't real.
Yeah, it's apparently quite bad.
It's real bad.
Well, what if those guys weren't terrorists?
It's nearly dementia.
It's sexual dementia.
Yeah, basically, it's crazy.
Yeah. What if she accused these guys of terrorism and it wasn't true?
Yeah, because they did say lies.
Yeah.
And then Picard just takes her at her word. It's like, take them to holiday, or take them to the whatever. I almost said holodeck, but that doesn't make any sense.
Take them to the waterboard room.
The hollow boarding room.
Yeah.
They just pour holograms in their face.
It feels like they're drowning.
They're all of that Tasha Yar thing that Data has. It's just a stream of Tashas.
Where are the drugs? Oh, no, it's a completely different context.
Where are the bombs?
I'll give this like a 7.5, I think. Because I think as a screwball thing, it's like, because I'm trying to rate it based on what I think the episode's trying to be. And I think the episode's just trying to be like a funny screwball thing. And I think it works in that. It's just not amazing. It's not a Howard Hawks movie, but it's
my technical problems with Lwaxana's like mind reading abilities like interfere with my ability to enjoy what's happening. Also, I find Lwaxana like just obnoxious in general. So I will give it a 6.99 because it feels like it feels like it might as well be a 7, but I don't want to actually give it a 7.
Very good, very good. Ricardo,
I'm gonna go with a 7.
All right. I think all of these make sense. It's not like it's nothing home to rhyme about. Like if this episode very easily could have just not existed.
Yep. Yeah.
I think that's probably why I didn't remember this episode super well, other than it's the episode where Lwaxana is very horny.
Well, yeah, like this episode, if any, like I feel like it could be accurately described as just a vehicle for this actor, or for Lwaxana's actor.
Yeah, that's basically how they rewrote it. They made it to be way more about her. So.
Yeah, it's like, hey, she's back, and this is what we had to do to make it palatable.
yeah, this is it.
There's actually a character somewhat like this in Battlestar Galactica, like the mid-thousands reboot. Like when because I saw that show before I started watching TNG,
right?
And there's like an obnoxious wife of one of the commanders, who was also really vulgar or really like outspoken and just a jerk.
Is she also connected to the creators of the show?
I don't know, but I don't know. It almost feels like, in retrospect, that they kind of modeled it after this character on purpose. Almost sometimes, I don't know.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Fun fact: Majel Barrett also plays the voice of the computers on the show.
Well, that's cool.
So there's a few moments in this episode where she's talking to herself. So that's good. But yeah.
Does anyone know if they give her like black contacts?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Okay, just making sure of that.
It's a thing with betazoids in general. Full betazoids have like they have no like irises. I guess it's just all a big pupil or something.
They're just high as shit, dude.
Like it makes her look like unsettling to me sometimes, and I don't like it, especially when she smiles, because she doesn't smile with her eyes. She just uses her mouth.
It reminds me of the alien Mr. Burns in The Simpsons, where his pupils are dilated. He goes, "I bring you love."
Break her legs.
Manhunt. That was an episode of TNG. Thanks for listening, everybody. This is an episode of Newbie Star Trek. You've been it's kind of a fast episode, but you know what? It was a fast screwball-y episode, so that makes sense.
Mamma mia.
We're not obligated to just keep getting longer forever.
That's true,
dude.
They just released the cast of. You said Mamma Mia. They just released the cast of Super Mario Brothers the movie today, and it is
a new Super Mario Brothers movie.
Today. It is a wild.
But it's not a movie based on new Super Mario Brothers. Just to be clear.
Yeah.
Wait, is there a live action one?
It's an animated Illumination movie. You know the Illumination animation company,
Despicable Me / Minions studio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they did a very Illumination style casting.
Really, boy,
Chris Pratt is Mario.
Charlie Day is Luigi.
That
Queen's Gambit is Peach.
Those are fine to me. Chris Pratt as Mario.
I'd say Jack Black as Bowser is not bad though.
Jack Black as Bowser is actually pretty funny. I think that's okay fine.
With that. Yeah, that's
Chris
fine.
Pratt as Mario is. I can't. There's not many worse casting choices you can make than that. I think.
Well, I mean, he's so. Everyone knows Mario to be like this really, really extreme Italian stereotype.
Yeah.
So
I have
when he's no doubt he's not going to have that accent. I guarantee it. He's not going to, but that's going to be weird. I don't like that.
Yeah.
They should have just had him be Charles Martinet.
I mean,
everyone
they did
else around is
like in the Nintendo Direct today. Miyamoto was like, and of course, Charles Martinet, who has been the voice of Mario all this time, will have many cameos throughout the movie.
But that's still shit. He should be Mario.
Yeah, he should be.
Like recast Luigi, whatever. I don't care.
No, Charles Martinet should be Luigi too. He's fucking everybody. He's always been everybody.
He's fucking everybody, dude.
Yes.
What a pervert, dude.
If you've seen pictures of him, he's happy all the time.
I get the strategy to doing that is just to get names on the poster, so parents will go, "Oh yeah, I know Anya Taylor-Joy. I liked Queen's Gambit. I will go watch this with my child." So that's fine. It's just
only Keegan-Michael Key can do Toad justice.
It's just, give Charles some more credit. But sure, whatever.
Give Charles Dance a part, man.
Anyway, if you've been liking our Mario Brothers discussion on Newbie Star Trek, please go to Apple Podcasts and give us a review.
Specifically about the Mario Brothers portion of Newbie Star Trek.
Or Podcast Addict, or
don't
wherever
worry,
else.
More installments are coming.
Yeah, wherever else they allow reviews. Those are the only two places I know of. But thanks.
You just listened to our new segment, Mario Brothers on Newbie Star Trek.
And then also we have an email where you can ask us questions. I said answers because this is actually email that we're reading this week is an email of answers. But if you wanted to email
You're confusing me.
You can
I'm
find
confused
us.
now.
You can email us.
Who is Alex Trebek?
You can email us.
Dead man.
At contact@newbiestartrek.com. That's contact@newbiestartrek.com. And this week we have an email titled Newbie Star Trek Answers. So it's kind of a long email, but also there are some spoilers in it that whenever it happens, I'm just going to yell redacted because I can't let Ricardo know. He must not know yet. So here
All
we
right,
go.
lay it on us.
Dear Marvin, Dan, Ricardo, Jason Statham, et al. I recently discovered Newbie Star Trek and binge listened on a 5,000-mile road trip.
Whoa,
Wow.
dude.
That's unhealthy, dude.
5,000 miles.
Don't let us talk in your ear for that long.
Yeah, dude. I hope you didn't go crazy, dude.
Yeah, I hope we didn't destroy your brain. I love your takes on the show. I grew up watching Star Trek here and there, and in 2016, I committed to watching everything from TOS to Enterprise for the 50th anniversary. That's a lot.
It sure is.
It's a lot of show. I noticed you all had many unresolved questions, so here are the answers to some of them, in no particular order. Number 1, redacted. I can't tell you that, Ricardo, yet.
Okay.
2, in Encounter at Farpoint, the saucer section separates from the drive section because you always get more money for the pilot than for subsequent episodes. And if you don't film that effect right out of the gate, you'll never get the money for it later. And you know what? Even though that's a joke, I think that's also kind of true.
Yeah.
In general. Like the pilot for a show, they often like do set the tone for what the budget will be like for the rest of the episodes.
And you can also see that occur in like animation a lot, specifically with transformation sequences.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there is actually a lot of real life merit to that, aside from the jokiness of it.
No, I can dig that. I can dig that.
3, some of the male crew have short skirts because in the future, all white people are regardless of gender.
Oh, okay.
That's true.
That makes sense.
4, Deanna Troi is only half Betazoid, so the writers only have to remember she has useful information half of the time. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Sick burn.
It's true. Literally,
Yeah.
what they'll do is they'll be like, oh shit, shouldn't Deanna Troi know this? And then they'll be like, Deanna is not in this episode.
She's off.
Or Deanna's Betazoid half isn't in this episode.
Yeah, she'll just goes, I feel something strange.
Like, how many times has she just said they're hiding something?
No one listens to her.
It's like, nah, don't worry. We'll
don't worry about it,
keep an eye
Deanna. The
out.
Pockleds clearly aren't up to anything.
Yeah.
So the ship is able to accelerate, maneuver, and decelerate at warp speeds because the ship is equipped with inertial dampers, which reduce the effects of exterior vents on interior components and occupants. 6, the interior dampers work by explicitly referring to them so that another generation of fans don't pester the creators with science questions they've been trying to avoid since the same questions came up in TOS. That's actually true. The same for Heisenberg compensators, which is how they try to explain why transporters work, when the science behind transporters means you'd have to know where every single particle in your body is during the transport, which is by quantum mechanics impossible because the act of understanding where the location of your particle is, so I've come to learn that the term like measuring it changes the outcome isn't actually quantum mechanics, but there is a thing where you can't measure all variables about it at the same time. That's what's really going on.
Yeah, the measure of man, dude.
Yeah, that's the uncertainty principle.
Yeah, the butthole.
The Heisenberg uncertainty.
It turns out I had a smaller butthole than I went to the transporter, and now I have a bigger butthole.
That's the Heisenberg butthole enlarging theorem, and and also, they had to create Heisenberg compensators in the show to just explain that. Yeah, there's a thing.
Star Fox has one of these. They call it the G diffuser.
That's true. And it just works. Don't worry.
Yeah, you never get sick doing barrel roll after barrel roll after barrel roll. You have a G diffuser.
Yep.
You're fine.
Cheese diffuser.
Yep.
7 is redacted.
Whatever you want.
7 is also redacted because it's a huge spoiler. 8. The inertial dampers require power and are less robust than the lighting system, so that when they go offline and the crew is tossed about like rag dolls, we'll all be able to see that they still don't get liquefied by being slammed against a bulkhead. It's true. There's no real explanation for why they shake. They should never be shaken. But 13, that's also redacted. 14, Klingons look different in TNG than they did in TOS because that's how Christopher Lloyd looked in Star Trek 3. And that's kind of true, actually. They gave him a mildly different look, and they're like, let's just do that instead of the racism we were mildly doing before. So,
Oh, so that's why sometimes Worf has Doc Brown hair.
Great Scott.
Let's see. 16. The holodeck automatically secures the doors. The computer dutifully informs others that is already in use, and only those with override authority can enter.
Well, then how come Lwaxana just walked in, dude?
That's true.
Apparently, she has override authority as an ambassador.
That could possibly be it.
Diplomatic immunity, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
She
man.
can kill anybody.
Yeah. This ensures that whatever you're doing in the holodeck, only those with the ability to ruin your life will ever be able to catch you.
Hell
in the
yeah,
act.
dude. Cranking and wanking.
The transporter, the device, is perfectly safe. With rare exceptions, every time it's been used, the duplicate who arrives in the other end after the original has been disintegrated has reported no issues with the transport. 18. The transporter, the man, will never be safe. 19. When TNG came out, Trekkie was considered pejorative, and there was a movement to rebrand the fans as Trekker.
Okay, I did hear that.
Yeah, neither term will increase a fan's ability to get laid. That's not true. Star Trek fans get laid all the time.
Yeah,
And-
but can you argue that one or the other increases your chances?
Yes.
Which one? Be specific.
Now that it's like a serious question, let me think.
I won't let you bullshit your way out of this one.
Oh,
We're spending 10 minutes on
I
this.
imagine.
I think Trekker is more. You get more sex with Trekker.
Okay, explain how.
I imagine Trekker is more confusing.
No. That's why, because you're on a date. You're on a date, and it's like, oh, what do you do? What do you do for fun? What are your hobbies? And it's like, well, I'm a Trekker. And then this girl never
It's
seen.
like,
Star
oh,
Trek.
so you travel a lot.
Yeah. She's like, oh, and then you say, you look at her eyes, and she's really excited about you traveling. And then you say, yep.
It's like,
So
oh, what do you transport?
Yeah.
The diplomats mostly.
Yeah. Diplomats. Have you ever heard of a man called Jason Statham?
I hope this is cleared
also
up.
sounds like a hiker. Trekker.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I guess there's more room to discuss with the weird term like Trekker.
Yeah.
And then he concludes, I hope this has cleared up at least some of the lingering questions you may have had. I look forward to more episodes in the future. Thanks for producing such an entertaining show. Thanks for listening, Jason.
Yeah,
Jason
thanks,
with a Y.
Jason.
As a long
Okay.
email. I had to redact a lot of it because there are huge spoilers for Ricardo that I don't want him to know.
Yeah.
So those need to be redacted. But otherwise, thanks, Jason. Thanks
Much
for
appreciated.
Jason,
Writing it.
thank you.
Yeah. And if anyone else would like to write in, again, that's contact@newbiestartrek.com. And next week, we're going to look at The Emissary, which is interesting episode. It's another Klingon-based episode. Those are always fun. I think.
Klingons know how to party, dude.
Yeah, I think every time we look at a Klingon-based episode, there's a lot more stuff to explore about the culture in a fun way. Especially if there's like kind of a fish out of water scenario. Like the Riker one was great.
Fighting.
Yeah, the Riker one was really good. I like that.
When he fought Shao Kahn.
Yes.
yeah, literally.
Hell yeah, dude.
But this episode, it's going to be from Worf's point of view, and there's going to be a twist.
He's gonna fight somebody.
No, well, if there's Klingons involved, there will be at least one fist fight. It's
Yeah,
gonna
dude.
happen, so, but that'll be next week.
Bare knuckle fighting.
In the meantime, if you want to listen to some other stuff we do, we have a Fugitive Frames film podcast.
Klingons were created by Guy Ritchie because they like the bare knuckle box.
They all speak in a Cockney accent. Yeah.
Oi, fuck you.
People
That
who
would be
don't
a-
like dogs have no honor.
Yeah.
That would be a funny version of Klingons. They're all
do you like
Cockney.
dogs? Do you like dogs?
That would be fun if they were all Cockney.
Yeah. I would see that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. And then what's on the Fugitive Frames Film Podcast? It's a podcast about films.
Yeah, we got a lot of films. If you like films, go check out over there. We got a bunch of stuff over there.
Yeah.
Pretty soon we're going to be having so the commentary that I just posted will be the last commentary for this month because I'm getting ready to do Halloween recommendations next month. So I'm hoping I have 3 episodes next month with various 3 different genres of horror.
Heck yeah, dude.
So stay tuned for that. Those might be a little shorter, but they'll come out in time.
Heck yeah, dude.
So
We're gonna
cool.
do it. That's Fugitive Frames Film Podcast. And also we have our YouTube channel, Fugitive Games, where we are currently going through
The movie The Fugitive, right?
the movie The Fugitive. starring
Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones,
Yeah.
and Harrison Ford.
Tommy Lee Jones multiverse.
Yeah. There's a scene that always there's a scene that always really creeped me out from The Fugitive as a kid. You know the scene where like he's remembering the murder, and there's a drill through the ceiling, and then blood pours out. That always freaked me out as a kid. I was like, oh my god.
I don't recall the movie well enough to know that.
Is that
scene.
from The Fugitive? Hang on.
I think you're thinking of the wrong thing.
Is that not from The Fugitive? Is
No,
that a different
no.
movie?
It's a different movie.
Is it a
Just
different
invent
movie
trauma
with,
for yourself?
Is that a different
Yeah.
movie with Harrison Ford that I thought was The Fugitive?
I think so. Yeah. I don't
Maybe
remember
it
that.
wasn't
in
a movie with
Fugitive.
Harrison Ford at all. Maybe it was just a
I
dream
think-
he had.
I think you're watching a horror movie. I think it's Friday the 13th.
I was just watching a horror movie. Yeah. Well, anyway, we're the Fugitive games. We're playing Batman Arkham Origins.
Well, didn't we finish Arkham Origins?
No, we have to go through the DLC. So,
Well,
it's
we reach credits on.
we reach credits on the main story. There's a little bit more to go, which we'll go through. And also, by the time this episode comes out, we'll have definitely started showing our playthrough of Paper Mario, the Origami King.
It's me, Mario.
Which was fun because
paper.
it was a very throat destroying LP.
Thus far,
With a lot
it'll
of charm.
continue to be.
Yeah. We'll keep going with that. It's very charming. It's because of the restrictions Nintendo put on it. It's not as charming as Thousand Year Door, but they're doing the best they can with just Toads, I think.
Yeah, we brushed on this 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. And all that shit, you can find it at fugitiveframes.com. Oh, there's actually two random things I want to push a little harder. The day this episode comes out, which is September 28th, it is going to be the release date of the Outer Wilds DLC, the Echoes of the Eye. And we're going to be streaming it that day. So if you happen to have listened all the way to the end of this podcast, and
if you are the rare super fan of like all the content that Marvin and I put out, that you've actually seen our LP of the Outer Wilds, which is a fantastic game, by the way.
Yeah.
If you have not played it, do yourself a favor and play that game, especially if you're the type of person who enjoys Star Trek, because I feel like anyone who enjoys Star Trek in any capacity should be able to appreciate Outer Wilds.
It's very much like not a spiritual successor, but like a spiritual advancement in video game form of what Star Trek does, I think. It's really great. I think it's our favorite game we played on the channel.
Yeah, if Star Trek is about like, the virtues of exploration and finding out more about your place in the universe
and how magical it is,
Outer Wilds is a game for you.
Yeah, and we're going to play. We're really excited for that DLC. And
if Star Trek is a transporter, then Outer Wilds is Meg. Same Statham universe, different movie.
Very good, very good. Also, I'm only mentioning this because my distributor is doing a small push, so I might as well help them with their push. I have a movie. It's called A Knight's Tour. It's available on Tubi. You go to tubi.com and you search for A Knight's Tour.
How do you spell Tubi?
To be or not to be? That is the question.
Tubi, Tubi.
Yeah.
And it's free if you watch it on Tubi. So it's like A Knight's Tour. It's a tour instead of a tale. Do not search for A Knight's Tale.
Yeah, that's
a lot of people have gotten this.
That's with Heath Ledger.
And it's like, oh wow, how did Marvin get a hold of Heath Ledger for his movie?
Yeah, he's dead.
So yeah,
how did he de-age him?
It's like a post-apocalyptic movie, but it's very quiet. People have called it things as an episode of The Walking Dead and stuff like that, which I guess maybe, I don't know. Watch for yourself and find out. It's free. So you can go to tubi.com and find that, or you can just go to fugitiveframes.com for all this stuff. So
yeah,
that's a fascinating description to me, actually. Like, really?
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Because having actually made the movie,
I could see it. I guess.
Yeah,
kind of, sort of. It feels like a story that could ostensibly happen in that sort of setting, but I wouldn't necessarily call it a Walking Dead story. But whatever.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine. Next time we're gonna watch The Emissary. It'll be a fun Klingon-y time. But until next time, stay safe, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Oi, stay safe, mate,
and vaccinate.
Yeah. Fuck you, mate.
That's true. Everyone vaccinate. Don't be a bitch.
Yeah, dude. Statham did it. So can you.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, dude. How do you think he does roundhouse kicks? Got vaccinated. Wasn't that limber before? That was one of the side effects.
Transport that mRNA straight into your bloodstream.